Yo, what's good, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome back. Uh, just got a small little video that I'm gonna do for y'all today. Um, just going over this part that I picked up. I'm gonna go over to the car real quick and kind of show you um, what we're dealing with first, and then I'll jump back over to what I got going on. Um, just trying to take my time with it. First thing I'm gonna show you ain't that big of a update, but it's something that I'm happy with that I finally did. I pulled the fender off. Let me see it sitting up there chilling. But I pulled the fender off here. I had to, and I got to do that on that side as well. At least this side, I can finally put this back together, pull the harness back through. Um, when I did started painting the car and all, this stuff wasn't painted from the factory. It was like this. Like primer etch factory e coat or whatever. So I painted all of this, um, painted all of that in there, and that's the harness right there that's taped off and tucked away for right now. But I painted all of that. But the one section I didn't do when I did the undercoating with this Raptor liner, this is the undercoating. But underneath the car, I did the bed liner stuff. I bought the kit from eBay. I mean Amazon. Well, anyways, I went ahead and fixed that, painted that, so that's all good to go. I just got to do, like I said, the other side over there now. That's done. I was working on this off camera. Finally fixed the threads on this guy here. This part of the steering column. This is the other part here. So fixed that up because that was the thread, and I'm kind of glad I did because I didn't realize it, but I messed I somehow messed all the threads up on that. Don't know how I did it, but I did it. So, anyways, today I'm gonna tear into my little goodie box that I got from GKTECH or whatever, and I'll show you what I got. So pretty much that thing I was just showing you is the steering column and the link for it that goes to from the column down to the rack. And what Nissan decided to do was use like a rubber bushing to kind of to give it like what is the word, like dang man, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. But anyways, they use this in between both the to be the for the links there, and it's rubber. Problem is, what happens after a while, you can kind of see it on camera. Like it cracks, it gets old, it flexes, and it gives you a bunch of unwanted play. Uh, but it gives you unwanted play. You can see it all cracked up in the shaft when you're trying to, steer it or whatever, and you kind of lose road feel. So GK Tech, they have two options. They have a polyurethane option that's, of course, it's polyurethane, so it's going to be a little bit more stiffer than rubber, and it gives you like a very nice road feel. Me being hardcore, I couldn't just opt for that. I went for the other option, which is solid billet aluminum, right? And that's the marks from Vice. That is the soft stuff that didn't work all that great, protecting it, but didn't nick the paint, but it dug into it a little bit, as you can see. But anyways, it's solid billet aluminum, and this pretty much eliminates all flex and everything, and it's like the most direct, precise feel that you can get through your steering on the B&R 32 GTRs. I think the 33s and 34s got the same setup. I can't really vouch for that because I don't own one of those cars. I haven't never worked on one, so I'm not sure. But I think they are the same setups. Anyways, so that's what I'm going to work on today for you guys. The one thing I want to show you really quick is something that you got to pay attention to when you're doing this job yourself. All right, so you got these here. These are your bushings where the bolts go through, and you got to pay attention to the orientation of this because on this car there's two bushings that face this way and then the other two face this way. So you're good as long as you have it like a cross pattern. So like for instance, this is going to be there, and then when you flip it over, um, these two will be on the opposite side of it. So that's all you got to pay attention to. Um, these things, I tried popping them out. They wouldn't come right out, and I didn't want to cut this or destroy it just in case something crazy happens and I need it and I still have it. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead, set up real quick, show you guys how to disassemble this guy, and then tell you the little trick that I'm going to do to make installing this a lot easier on this billet. The polyurethane isn't as bad. It's still pliable like the rubber. Of course, it's stiffer than rubber, but it's still pliable. Where this is solid, it's not pliable. You can't manipulate it. So anyways, just hold tight. Let me get set up, and then I'll hop back on. All right, guys. So I'm back. Back over here at my vise and my table. So like I was explaining to you, here you got to get these guys out because you got to put them in your new mount. Either it's polyurethane, solid aluminum, billet aluminum, whatever. But yeah, you got to reuse them. Unless if somebody knows that you can buy these brand new from Nissan, let me know. I would definitely get them just to have them. But anyways, yeah. So you wanna pop them out. Um, I mean, if you didn't have plans on trying to save this thing or whatever, like I was saying, you could cut this and pop them right out of there. But I want to just hold on to it just in case I need it for something. So, you could take maybe like a 10 millimeter socket or something that fits the circumference of this, and tap it with your hammer. I couldn't find a socket. To fit this immediately, and I was kind of in a rush or whatever. So I just said, well, I'll use this old extension. It fits in the hole. I'll show it to you on camera. It fits in there good enough to where it can pop it out. So let's go ahead. Even if you got maybe two pieces of wood or something where you can elevate this, you know what I mean, as you pop that out of there. But of course, I got this nice vise, so I'm gonna use my vise real quick. You don't have to go overboard with tightening it, you know, and then just take your extension or your socket or whatever. Just give it like a couple of nice taps, and it should pop right out of there. And whatever you do, don't lose it. So I gotta dig all this stuff out off camera, of course. I'm not gonna do it on camera because that'd be a waste. And just repeat that process 4 times, 3 times, or whatever. Of course, this one's gonna be a little tough coming out. It's always the last one. Always the last one that's a pain in the butt. So I effectively lost two of them, which is fine. They're in here. They're not gone. So once you pop them all out, this is what you have left. One other thing I want to show you guys real quick on that, two things. So once it's popped out, you wind up with this here. This is the spacer, the bushing. So looking at this, I don't know how well it's going to pick it up, but the hole is actually slightly a little bit bigger on this, and this because it's worn. But yeah, it's a little bit bigger than it is on here. So you're gonna have to either press it in, tap it in. Pressing it's gonna be the best. But I got a trick for that I'm gonna talk to you about in 1 second. The other thing important that I want to show you real quick is depending on how aged your car is, how old, um, those bushings are gonna be a little dirty, right? Let's see, you guys can see that all that muck on there. That's easily fixable. What you could do if you have it is use some like crocus cloth, maybe like 100 grit. You don't need anything too aggressive to clean that up. So the only thing I have spares of over here is 150 grit and 320 grit sandpapers. It'll work just as fine. So what you'll do is you'll take it and you'll just sit in there and you'll rotate it, you know, till you clean that, till you clean it up just enough to where you get all that off, because like I was showing you, it's a tight fit. So anything that you can get away from interference wise is going to be what you want. So once you get it cleaned up enough, then you can go ahead to the next little trick that I have. Step, and actually I'm skipping a step. The trick that I want to tell you guys what you'll do with pieces like this is you got two pieces of metal. One has got to get put into the other piece, and its radius differences, tolerances are a little tight. So with the part that you want to actually press into something, like this here, for instance, well, I'm gonna gather all three of them and put them in the freezer, right? Let them sit in there for a couple of hours, overnight, whatever. But let them get nice and cold, because metal, like you know, once it's cold, it contracts. When it's hot, it does what? It expands, right? So by you putting these in the freezer, and you don't pull them out until you're ready to actually do the job. So let them sit in there for a good while. Let them get nice and cold and let this metal contract. What's going to happen is when you go to put it in here, the tolerance has now contracted and shrunk. It'll go in a lot easier. The other trick that I'll tell you guys with this, while you have these cold, ice cold, you want to do the opposite with the part that you want to press into. So what you're going to want to do is put this piece. You can either heat it up with like a torch. Even you can probably, it's summer, if you're in the summertime or whatever, put it in the sun. Especially this is a black freaking thing. It's gonna attract heat and hold heat. Expand. It may expand enough, but I'm gonna cheat the system a little bit more. I'm actually gonna get some pot of boiling water. I mean, let it get nice and hot and just drop this in there. Boom. And let it sit in there. I would say maybe 15, 20 minutes max. Let this contract, expand, my fault, expand enough. And once you got it, you know, where you let it sit and you feel like it just expanded, then you go to the freezer, you get these guys, and guess what? That tolerance is going to be a lot smoother, a lot easier. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to cut the video here. I'm going to round up recording this in 2 segments. So I'm going to go ahead, like I said, and end the video here, and then pick back up tomorrow after this stuff is set up properly. The last little trick that I want to tell you guys, and you know what, I could wait, but I'll just tell you now, is lubrication is your friend. That's all I'm going to say. This is what I'm going to use here to lubricate. But once I'm ready to do the actual install of those pieces, I'm gonna come back and show you exactly everything that I mean, and I'll show you that these things are cleaned up. But before I really kick out of here, there's one other little thing that I want to show you guys. So just bear with me. I'll do this all in one take. Bear with me really quick. I just want to show you from the last video my finished product. And I can't believe I forgot to show that to you before. But here is my fully assembled sway bar link, do-it-yourself sway bar link, as you can see, all together. So that's what you wind up with. And of course, I got 2 of them. So yeah, but this is what you wind up with when it's done. You got your own links compared to, I guess I could have had it out, but oh well. Compared to this guy from White Line that they give you. So you go from this here to this, which is a nice heavy duty setup, right? So that's it. So like I said, I'm gonna pause the recording the video for today until tomorrow, once I can go ahead, or a later day, hopefully tomorrow. Just go ahead and get that stuff set up with the boiling water in the freezer, and then we'll pick back up later. All right, guys, back again. Ready to finish this little video up of the install. These are the bushings that I was talking to you guys about yesterday, putting them in the freezer, and you see that they're cleaned up from how they was yesterday as well. So go ahead, and also I want to show you, so it's not a fluke, boiling water, hot water yet. Put that back in there for right now. Go ahead and get set up. So the first thing that that you want to do actually is what I was saying yesterday. Is taking this with my red and tacky grease because you want some form of lubrication. Um, you ain't got to be too scared, but you don't need to really like pile it on either. You know what I mean? That makes sense to you. All right. And I let these things sit overnight, so that's pretty much what I did with it right there. You grab this, and just remember when you're doing this, two of them's got to be this way, and then the other two's got to be the other way. Go ahead, sit this down on my vise. So use this guy. Use that, and where is it? And actually, what I decided to use was a 9 millimeter socket, not a 10. That fits these bushings perfect. Then you just take the vise or whatever, once you set it, and try to get that to press in. Then you run into the problem of it turning on you. So if you can, just take your socket, tap it back out. Good thing is 9 millimeter doesn't get stuck in there. Try to lube it up a little bit more. Yeah, the trick is really just getting it started. And once you get it started, then you're good to go. But the other thing is you got to get this to start straight. It cannot go in crooked. Because if you get it to go in crooked, then you're just going to be working against yourself trying to get it to fit. And what you're doing is like that. You can see it's crooked. I'm gonna try to get it to seat in there, but I don't think it's gonna work. So now I'm gonna have to tap it out of there again and try one more time. Man, what's up with me dropping stuff all the time, man? Once you get it in there, you can see it's in there, nice and straight. Um, so it's in there. It's on the back side as well. That's seated pretty good. Probably gonna try to get this one off and reseat that. So pretty much just gonna do that process again, but this time As you can see how I got the cross this way, you're gonna flip it over, and then you're gonna put the other two in there that way. Now, one thing I will say, I got the water nice and hot and boiling, and it's sitting in for about 15 minutes, the piece. But I probably could have got the water really, really hot inside the wood, but I didn't want to wind up scalding myself, burn myself or whatever. So take that. Actually, let me see if I can move this camera so you guys can see it work a little bit better. I'm not going to put it on myself. I'm going to try to put it on the actual piece a little bit and see if it works a little bit better for you guys to see what I'm doing here. What I'm doing right now, I'm just trying to get this thing to seat. That's all I'm trying to do. Take your socket, your hammer, give it a couple taps. Yeah, I don't like doing that. I'm gonna do that one more time because I just don't like the way that it cocked in there too much. So we're gonna try to do that again. Now I know that looks like it's stuck, but it's not. It came right out of there. So we're good to go. Another thing too that you can do is actually put the grease in the hole. It's one of those things where you gotta be patient with it. Um, so, and I'm glad I caught myself because look what I'm doing. Said don't do that, and I'm doing it. So black that out of there real quick. There. I'm gonna try this other technique real quick with it. See if I can get it to work a lot better for me. It's one of those jobs you can't be afraid to get your hands dirty, because that's definitely what's going to happen. There's no quick or easy way about it. Got too much going on over here, man. There we go. Try to tighten it up a little bit. Get yourself a good solid base. Alright, so I got it seated in there good enough. Let's go ahead now. And we're going to try to send this puppy home. Oh yeah, see how easy that's going in? I know some people were having big problems out of this, but I'm not. I think a lot of it stems from them, like I said, they're just cocking it and not getting it true started, like it's sitting like this or like that. If you get this thing started true, then it won't, once you get it set, it won't let you go anymore. As you can see. It's nice and true. And then once you're done, you just pop these right over it like that, and then you're done. So now we just got the last one to do. And then what you could also do is wipe it, clean it, and see. And you can see it's seated in there pretty good. So that ain't gonna go anywhere on you. Last one. And then what I'll do off camera, because I'm not happy with the one, I'll pop the little bushing off of it on the other side. So I don't think it's down as far as it can go. I think it can go a little bit further down in there. So that's what I'm gonna try. Funny thing is that red patch stuff. I bought it for a job that I had to do, and I had to have it. But ever since then, I haven't really been needing it for much. You know what I mean? So, all right, take a little socket, shut that a little bit. Try to get this thing as true as I can. That's good. That's not going to give you any issues. Then you just sit this down in the vise, boom, like that, and you just press it in. Just seat it, as you can see, seat it, take that, voila, you're done. So that's how you do the GKTECH solid bushings. And like I said, I'm happy with the way they pressed in there. And this one is in, seated really good, like the other ones, nice and flush. This one, I don't know if it shows on camera or not, but it's not all the way in. So I'm gonna try to get this bushing off and then try to seat that. And I'll do that off camera, just in case if it takes me a little bit longer. So just hold tight for me. All right, guys, I'm back. So I got this all set up now. Hopefully that shows on camera that they're sitting in there like they should. I've already tested it out on there. Make sure. Now, one other thing, if you're doing this on your car, you have these here. It's like a kind of like a locator, I guess, or and with these things being solid, this one being a solid mount billet, you probably don't need these, but I'm gonna do it anyways. And they don't look like this normally. I just couldn't stand the muck, and I didn't want downtime anymore as far as with this to wait for it to come back from zinc. So it's going to be kind of hidden, but kind of seen a little bit. But I went ahead and just shot them with this gold spray paint that I had because I had it. And the other thing is, I've been wanting to try it out to see if I needed it, how would it turn out. I'm not too thrilled with it, but it is what it is. So, anyways, what these do is it sits on your bushing this way, like this. And you have another one that sits on the bottom. So I'm gonna take the nicer of the two, of course, and put that on top, and then set this one like that. Then that goes down in here, and let's see, I got the orientation right. So that's the other thing you gotta make sure when you're putting it on. Okay. Okay. So that's sitting in there. Go ahead. The other thing is, I don't know about you guys, but my car, the freaking column was like super, super hard. Um, so I'm gonna try to tap that down real quick, see if I can get that to move, and then set that up. And then when I'm done, I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like all finished and installed, and I can kind of get closer with the cameras and stuff like that as well. So just bear with me, guys, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I got it on. It was a little bit more of a headache than what I was anticipating getting it back down. And let me getting this shaft, getting this to clear that. Just because this guy was up too far, so I had to drop it down just to get it to swing in there to clear. So I had to pretty much take this intermediate shaft here. Had to take that over to my vise and open up the little clamp. Let's see, I can show it. Yeah, that right there. Had to open that up just a little bit, but the main thing was all that rust, as you can see, built up on it. So I had to spray it with WD-40 or PB Blaster, loosen it up, and then eventually it freed up enough where I could slide it back and forth to get it to connect up here like it's supposed to. So that's all done. Now, when it's all back together, it's not going to look like that. The reason it's looking like this still is because, let me walk around inside the car so it makes more sense to you. So, as you can see, this is the inside of the car. You're probably wondering where the hell is the dash. So, what I'm attempting to show you guys is this is the steering column, of course. Steering column is going to be clamped in underneath and on top with that. And you can see that it's down. It's away from it. So once that is put back in place, the proper position, I already tested it out as well, the theory, but it's what it is. Once that is back up in place like it's supposed to be, that's going to slide down into there and we're good to go. I'm going to leave these loose for right now. It's not a big deal until I get that column back up. But that's pretty much it. One other little trick I'll tell you guys, you're doing this, get yourself a white, purple, blue, whatever color, set for black, paint pen. It's got to be a paint pen. And mark. So what I did was mark here, and then I marked up here on my shaft. So I know now if I got those marks where they're supposed to be, then everything will line like it's supposed to do. So that's all done. This is going to be the end of this video, pretty much this install. And probably what I'll do is come back eventually and show you guys the with the the steering column back up in its rightful place, and then the intermediate shaft. I'll show you guys how that drops down in the proper position as well, and show you guys that's all done. One other little thing I want to show you guys I was pretty happy about, I like how it turned out, is this guy here on the firewall. Vacuum block. So for my ECU setup, I'm not going to have to come off of source, because a long time ago we got rid of the MAF. So guys are familiar with this car, you know it's a MAF sensor setup, whatever. That's been gone. The previous ECU that I was running, I wish I had it over here somewhere where I could show you real quick, but it was a PEXI ECU, and it was using an AEM style or just a transducer style pressure sensor. No longer going to need that, because my ECU that I have now, or that I'm going to run standalone wise, it actually has built-in map sensor. So I just need 2 lines. I picked that up a long time ago. And I like it because, again, it's like it sits perfectly in the stock location, where the guys that know this car, your stock sensor for like your gauges and all, pressure gauges and all, set right there. So that's where that sits. It looks good. I do have a nice little trick that I'm going to do for that hardware. Of course, I'm not going to leave it stainless steel that way, that color. Long when the car is back together, hopefully I'll show you guys another video it's done, and my vision of that is the way I want it. But anyways, like I said, I just want to cut this one short. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you guys are finding this somewhat amusing, somewhat entertaining. It's fun for me to get back out in the garage and tinker. But anyways, hope you guys have a blessed week. Enjoy your life, man. Enjoy your family and your friends as much as you possibly can. And until the next time I see you guys, love y'all. Peace.